Today we're here to discuss whether or not we are going to get involved in the revolution that is going on in France. We're kind of in a weak state right now, so I don't really know what's the best thing to do. Do we honor the treaty? Are we obligated to intervene under the treaty? Let's first discuss what our obligations under the treaties are, so we can understand what's going on here. Yeah.
Well, in the treaty it says that once our Revolutionary War ends, we don't have any obligations to support the French in their military battles. So I'm not saying that I necessarily agree.
Doesn't it say the opposite of that?
No,
It says exactly that.
Once it ends, yeah.
It has no expiration date.
That's not true.
It says
It just says if the war should break out
It
between
says if
France
the war
and
No,
ends,
it
the war
says-
conditions are
Wait,
added.
let's find this so that we have.
it says
Oh, it's during the continuous of
during
the
the
present war.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
It's like if
They
Great
should
Britain and
mutually
France are
Alright,
at
fair.
war, it's a common cause, and America will give
So if
forces
but it says that
and
if
the
But it
allies.
says that it has
during the
to-
continuance of the present war between the United States and England, which is over,
Right.
His
It just
Majesty
has to
and the
break
said
out
United
during that,
States. Right, it didn't break
Yeah,
out.
it didn't break out during
So
this is way
also,
after.
is war here considered like they're actively fighting, or they're just still not together?
What?
No,
The war's
they're not.
over.
The war is over.
They're
We signed the Treaty of
separated.
Paris. It's over.
But it doesn't end there though.
What?
Why does it say that
Later,
It does.
in
The
this,
Revolutionary War is
in the
over.
document it talks
What is
about
the actual?
fighting
The revolution
within
might not
it.
be over, but the Revolutionary War is over.
Okay, but the treaty alliance thing doesn't.
It does.
say
It,
that.
it,
No,
it, it
the
does.
treaty says
During the
it's based on
continuance
the
of
war.
the present war
It's
between the
based
United
on the
States
war,
and
but it
England.
doesn't mean that the alliance ends with the war.
No,
treaty
if war
does-
should break out,
does
if
end.
war should break out between France and Great Britain during the continuance of the present war,
Which it
which
did
it
not.
did not.
No, that's
America-
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I agree with that point. I'm just saying that that's something we
not-
should consider.
That's not what it
Yeah.
means.
I said, what do you mean that's not what it means? Explain
That's
using
not
text.
before the war. They're saying like if before they even agreed to it, if war should break out between Britain and France, that's when they would join the American Revolution. That condition is passed.
No, that's not what it's
No,
saying.
no, if war
If war
should break out
between
during the
France
time,
and Great Britain.
then it says they should aid each other
No,
mutually
not
with their good
before the war.
offices. That means
Before
then
the war,
we
as
are
at the start of
obligated.
the war.
No.
No.
Yeah, what do you think it means then?
I think it means that if the war should break out during the Revolutionary War between the United States and Great Britain, then
That was the whole
we are
point.
This
obligated to
war
support
between
them.
Great Britain and France started during the American Revolution.
Did it start during the American
Yeah,
Revolution?
I don't think that
Okay, on March 13,
That's what
Yeah, it did.
1778,
France
France
signed-
officially recognized the independence of the former colonies and signed an alliance with the United States of America. 4 days later, Great Britain declared war on France. This war that's happening right now between France and Great Britain is just a continuation of that war that started during the American Revolution time. Therefore, I think that this treaty can extend to the war now.
Okay.
Are you
fair.
sure? Because I
It's
thought
the
it was
same
modern
war.
war.
I don't think it's the same war.
No,
I don't think it's the same war.
The war
breaks out.
It's been an ongoing war.
We
Even
know.
if it stops for a brief period of
1778.
time, they're still fighting for the same reason.
Hold on, let's
No,
establish
okay.
different.
Yeah, we need to get
Let's
some facts
establish
straight.
some dates.
Yeah.
Okay, when did the American Revolutionary War begin?
May type.
Seventeen
George.
seventy-five.
76.
Okay.
May, did you want to write some stuff on the board?
75.
Yeah.
Sure.
They didn't have whiteboards.
Yeah, that's conquered.
Well, they don't have whiteboard markers, so.
I got
It's a
you.
huge piece of work.
Oh my God, yeah.
markers.
Thank you. But the war that they started, that the French and British started, that the contract is talking about, is the war that started like in 1778.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you-
it's the
can you read it to me?
Anglo-French War, yeah.
It's a different war because
I did my research.
Okay, Revolutionary War.
1775 to
The Anglo-French
1783.
War?
Yes, that's the war that it's talking about.
No,
Hold
that
on a
ended in
second. Do you remember this whole
1783.
time that
Yes,
we did at the
that's
beginning where
the
everybody had a different
end of
definition?
the
There's not
war.
gonna be a
Right.
set.
no, the war itself, not the revolution. The war is a
The
set.
fighting war,
The
the 1775 to 83. 83 was the Treaty of Paris. And then it was definitely over.
No, this isn't
No.
China. This is a different war from the Anglo-French. That's
It's
why
not.
it's
Okay,
not.
and
Yes, it is.
10 years after
The
83
alliance
is when
doesn't
this happened.
just apply to
Okay,
the
so
It does.
the French Revolutionary War
Started in
started.
1789.
Okay.
which is after.
After.
Yes. But we're not talking about the revolution. The revolution.
Okay,
hold on,
was over.
before
We're
we
talking about the war
discuss,
between
let's just get the
Britain and
details.
France.
Right, exactly. The
Let's
no-
just,
the
before
war-
we
the
discuss
first
what's right, let's
the
just
first
get
part.
things.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so
The
French
second
Revolutionary War.
1789 started, right?
Yeah.
Until when?
Until
93, it started like a new phase of it.
1789 was the first phase. 93 started the more violent phase.
But there's also the Anglo-Franco War.
And
which
shortly after 93, England declared war on France.
the Anglo-Franco.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say-
78.
Yeah, also Anglo-French.
That was 78.
What is Franco?
Okay.
Franco is like
France.
of or relating to France.
Oh, okay, I
I
didn't know.
think.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
When did this begin?
17.
93. I mean.
78.
No.
No, the first one, the
78.
one.
Okay,
in
Oh, the
Revolutionary.
first one was 78.
Yeah.
This is a terrible deal if it means that they
Terribly for
only
France.
help
Exactly.
France
Yeah, it is.
if it's started during their own war.
That's
Yeah.
So why would France have ever signed that?
Shima, you said that this
I don't-
segment
I
is
just
happening
don't
shortly
see
It's a bad
after
deal.
93.
No,
Signed
they're
it.
the ones who
The first
they're
English
literally
versus
the
French
ones
war
who
was
completely
78.
helped America win. Like
78.
without them, America
You
would
can't
not
say that these are the
was
facts because they
93.
wouldn't have known.
78?
Yeah,
78 to
it was during the
78.
Revolutionary War.
78 to 83.
Oh, okay.
because of
But
the
this is a different. Alright, we'll
Because
talk
they
about
gave
that.
so much money to America. And
Yeah,
it was
so
France
France's
in
whole
debt.
situation is
Okay,
because of
we have
America.
one conversation since like
Yeah.
17.
Okay, we're not even discussing that yet. First, we're just all agreeing on dates because I feel like that's super important because everyone seems to have different ideas of dates. Okay,
The second English versus French war started in
1793.
93. Yeah.
okay. And it doesn't really matter when.
Doesn't matter when it is.
We're not talking about that.
So
So this, okay, so now we need to figure out which one is happening.
the second one was happening right now.
Okay, so this is irrelevant.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it's not irrelevant.
Yes, it is.
It's not
No,
irrelevant.
Yes, it is.
because in the
What is
article
it?
it talks about
That's
it
what it's
helps
It's
it
not a
out.
continuation.
Because
It's not a continuation.
if
not
that
which
is
why it's
saying,
relevant.
if this is saying, if this rule is saying that
That's two
we
different
need to step in if it's during whatever, it's whichever one it's not talking about is relevant. You know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
No, it's not
Well,
true.
my
because-
question is.
But how
Can
how can you
the
say
fact
that it's a
this treaty was
continuation?
made in
Because
1778
tensions have always
before
been
the
high
English
between these
versus
two
French
countries.
war.
Just because of physical
It
fighting
doesn't matter. It's not a war. Just because they have tensions.
Okay,
doesn't
okay,
mean it's
everyone's
a
not-
distinction
war.
between war and
That's different. This is
Okay.
not even.
Everyone stop, everyone stop,
Right, I agree.
Alana, yeah.
I'm just wondering though, the English versus French war, the first one, was that one, did America at all help the French in fighting for that one?
In
That when the French started to help the Americans.
The French started to help the Americans, I know, but then England started war with France, and did America help the French while the
No.
French were helping Americans?
They were
No.
fighting them.
So we basically owe the French because we didn't help in
Yeah,
the
I
war we
agree.
promised we would help in.
I agree. I agree that we deserve help. I'm just bringing up this point to say that the treaty doesn't oblige us to do so.
But we didn't,
Yeah.
and now they're asking us to
Okay.
help in the second,
Okay.
and we're saying like.
When was
Okay.
How would we know that the French wouldn't not help?
when was
Sorry
the
for the double
78?
negative.
So
In return, okay, say
78.
since
Yeah,
based on
78
what
or
Alana
1778.
just said, if we didn't give help to the French, how can we be sure that the French wouldn't refuse to help us if we needed help in
Well-
order to make it even again?
What was in it for them if they helped us without us ever helping them?
Yeah.
Wait,
Same. You say it a little more clearly.
since based on what Alana just said, how can we know that the French wouldn't? How would we know that the French would help if they knew that we didn't help them? How would we know that they wouldn't say,
Helped
oh,
us first before
It was a
Okay,
trust
But they
thing.
did help.
Alright, it
wait,
wasn't
we
trust.
did.
But how are they
The
gonna
Americans
trust
didn't help the French,
How are
right?
they
Yeah.
gonna trust
How
them?
the
Yeah.
Americans
That's what we're deciding
Very
now.
strong
How can we
war.
trust the French
But we
not
still
to
promised to
not to
help them.
refuse help in return?
Why
Why
would
do
they
they
refuse
refuse
help?
help?
anymore.
Since we
talking
didn't
about?
since we didn't help them.
No, that's what we're
It's
deciding
just a
right now.
hypothetical.
That's what we're deciding right now, whether or not we're gonna help them.
No, if
No.
say we
If
got into a war.
theoretically
You get
we
it,
start
right?
helping, yeah.
I get what you're
Say-
So
saying,
if
but
theoretically
you
we
say
decide to
you're-
help the
you're-
French, and then
Maybe
England
like
declares war on us again, will the French help us while we're helping them?
So now
Is what
think about it this
Probably,
way.
they'd be obligated under the treaty.
But since we
But
didn't
if
help
we
them,
didn't-
can we trust them not to help us?
Well,
Can we
are
trust
we
them to help
deciding
us?
right now?
We have to
Then we would be helping them.
In
It's
Jared's
not that.
hypothetical situation, we go and help France, and then Britain attacks us,
No.
and
No,
therefore,
no,
what
They-
is your hypothetical?
In this situation, there's a war that England declares on us,
Again,
not
another
the French.
war.
But since we didn't help the French,
if we don't help them.
well, this
Since
is
we didn't have
as
the
if
French,
this
or
war-
I think what Jared's asking is like, if there was another war in the future, since we didn't help the French during our own Revolutionary War, would they be still obligated to
Oh,
help
I
us?
see.
Oh,
yeah.
But yeah.
The thing is, if
So
we're
we're
saying
obligated to help them.
if, this,
Yeah.
If
if
they don't
we're
feel
saying
obligated
that
to us.
we are obligated,
Yes, because they helped us before when we were in our own. So
But
we
then we
should-
already didn't help them. So in the
What do you
future,
mean we already
So
did?
we
Oh,
are.
I know
We
you're
didn't help them because
Look,
we
I know you're
No, but we are obligated to help
Oh, I
them
see.
because
Oh,
we didn't
you're
help
our
them.
own.
Alright, whatever, this is a
We've
hypothetical
already
situation,
said
we're
yes.
not discussing hypothetical
Yeah.
situations,
Yeah.
let's discuss something.
situations.
I think it's
Wait.
worth
But also
bringing
it's
up.
moral.
how would we get into another war during the time that we're
Well,
we are in
England
a war?
No, England was at war with us, and then they also made war with France because
No, but his
France decided to help us.
situation
so
is
that's what
that
he's saying. Like,
we
if it
would
was reversed.
get into another war with England and need help from the French, but would they help us because we didn't help them when they did the
No,
same
we
thing
are
during our
helping
war?
them.
But
we are
we are
helping
help.
them.
They didn't
Like
need
that's
help.
what the
But the
hypothetical is.
Not my
question,
situation.
I get your situation. My question is, how would they even, how would America even engage in another war with England during their war with England?
Exactly.
But we're not. This is
Wait,
the
why would
war's
we
already.
Talking about.
But doesn't
Oh,
this
it's
Because it
not.
only
Say-
it
say there's
only
like a
counts
major battle or
during their
something.
war, so they can't start another war. So
So
the
why can't
situation
they
No, they're not still in
They
war.
can't start another war with England while they're
They're
already
not in
fighting.
war.
bring it to American land.
No, but this
No, I'm
is
saying
after.
if-
This is
this is
later
not-
on.
If
Jared,
it's after, then it doesn't count.
Okay.
This only holds during while they're fighting.
Let's
Let's go on.
This war is
also,
the French.
if we're helping French, aren't we already gonna be in war with England?
Guys, listen
Can we
to
get
me
the
talk.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a wonderful hypothetical.
What year are we in right now?
We're not fighting Britain.
We're in.
Then we're not helping anyone.
No,
Right
No,
now.
no. Guys, we are in 93 right now. Right
93,
now, though, we are
1793.
discussing the 93 war and whether we should help in the 93 war.
Okay. So, now that we've discussed this and we're clear that the sentence during the continuance of the present war that does apply to now. We are in the present
No,
war.
we're not in the present war.
We're not.
I thought that's what
No, we're not in the present. We decided that we're not in the present war
I
anymore.
thought
No.
we were in.
No.
Shana, right?
I'm finding the year that we're in right now.
We're in 93.
We're 93. I'm just saying we're not in. We're not obliged by the Treaty of Alliance anymore.
Yes, we
No,
are.
we're not.
Why?
Well,
It's
Can we take a vote? Can we take a vote? Let's take a vote of whether.
It's about what date we're in. It's about what date we're in. It's not.
We're in 93.
Guys, we
We're in
are in
93.
93.
No,
We
we're
know
saying.
this.
Wait, can I say one thing? We're arguing right now over. We're arguing right now.
We are in
Let
93.
me say this. We're arguing right now over whether we are still obliged by the Treaty of Alliance to go help France.
Correct.
Yes,
No.
that is the
Because if we're not,
Isn't right now, isn't what you're proposing a vote on whether this is a continuation of the war or
Well,
not?
we're
Yeah.
discussing
Basically,
whether
the-
we should
the thing
follow
is,
the
it's
treaty
proposed- yeah.
or
Without the
not.
That's the
timeline
big
events.
thing.
No,
That's not what we
because
should be
even
voting
no,
about.
Jared, because even if we're not obliged, doesn't mean we're not morally obliged.
So,
to.
93. We
So
didn't
we
know
are
that.
obliged, though.
Yes.
And how do we know that they'll do things
Continuance
in
of
the
the
treaty
present-
doesn't say
okay.
that?
Because it ended in
Okay,
83.
so say
question
that
is
you
whether
are
we are
like
still fighting.
Spain.
If this
Are you
is
obliged to help
it
some of
doesn't
them?
matter because this is
Morally?
this is the
Yeah,
No,
we're not
no, it isn't the case.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. We're not obligated by the
Yes, we
same.
are obligated by
We're
the
not
treaty.
obligated.
Why?
Explain how we're obligated.
Because there's no expiration date to the treaty. It just
Yes,
says
It says
Listen to me. Just listen to what I have to say for a second. The treaty says that if England and France are against each other and America is somehow brought into it in any situation, France and America will
That's not what it
It
says.
does say
It's not what the treaty
It says
says.
during the continuance of the present war between the
The
United
present
States.
war.
present
The present war, that's the first article. The first article refers to the present war. The next 5 or 6, whatever how many articles there is, refer to after that, and there's no end date listed to
Why
it.
did
But
we
that,
not-
but it
That's
says
not
right
the
there
actual
during the
treaty.
present.
Wait, no.
That
Can
is
you tell us
talking
like
about-
specific?
Kira, can you bring to us the source that says that it
The literal articles?
Can you
Don't find that for us.
Show us
We
these
can-
I've said that a
articles?
million times. I'm on the Wikipedia text
We're not gonna use
of it.
Wikipedia.
Okay, I have looked
I think
into
Sarah does
Wikipedia
a-
then.
I
I have literally Yale Law School's text of the article.
Okay.
Alright, what is, yeah, it's fine. If you
Alright,
find it,
wait,
Wikipedia is
Kira,
fine actually.
which
You find
article do you
anything.
want?
Literally the same thing. I'm on Wikipedia. I've read this entire
Read it.
article last
Read it
night.
out loud.
Read the exact
Hello, we're in
Okay.
1793 right now,
Yeah.
guys.
Really?
Oh.
Yes, we.
That's the word.
established that in case a war were to break out between France and Britain, remember this was written in February 1778, before the first English versus French war. If war were this is before France decided with America at all. They're just deciding that if we
Why are they
were-
making a treaty with them?
Because
decide whether
It
or not-
says in the present war, which is the
Yeah.
using the Revolutionary War.
Okay, somebody just clearly poke a hole in that because that's what we're
No,
discussing.
no, we
No,
don't
wait a
want to poke a hole
Wait
in
a
that.
second. The
No, no,
English
she
versus
was trying to.
I know, but
So that's what I'm saying.
So we have to hear her out and then
Okay.
we'll decide.
okay.
What I'm saying is, in 1778, before France was trying to decide whether they wanted to join America in the war because this was this whole big conflict between England and France and America. France doesn't like England, so they want to support America against England because they don't like England. So they made this agreement. If England starts to be mean to us and break the peace that we have, then we're going to support America to get back at England. Like, it's this way of getting back at England. And that refers to that war because then England did start a war against them.
But only after
The
they
first
make
one.
the alliance.
But it
But
doesn't.
just
It
talking
doesn't.
about the first one right
Doesn't
now.
say that in the treaty though.
But I'm just saying the context I've got from the research I did. The context is that
No.
this war started right around that time because they had decided if this war was going to start, like if England starts picking on their navy and stuff, they're going to join America to get back at England.
No.
In that situation,
No.
and that's
No.
what that's talking about.
It's irrelevant though if
She's
it says in the
not
treaty
talking
that
about
it's only the continuance of the present war.
the continuance of the present war.
Which is-
That
which
means-
is
Are you
the-
saying
is-
that
wait,
these
wait.
two wars are
That
the
means-
same war?
No, I'm not. I'm not even talking about the second war right now.
She's
The
talking
second
about
war
before all
is
of that.
totally different. The first one, this is just like what the treaty, the basis of the treaty is. Like they're deciding whether they want to support them or not. And what it says is they're doing it to maintain the sovereignty. They would do something to preserve the sovereignty of America always. It doesn't say that they would end preserving the sovereignty of America, like being on America's side after the war. It just
That
says
doesn't
Does
say-
it use the
that
word
doesn't say
always?
anything
it
about
doesn't
what.
say
Leora.
always, but it
So
doesn't
it
say
just- so
No,
then
no,
we
no,
can't
listen
use
to
that.
Leora, listen to
It
Leora.
also doesn't say one
No,
America.
it's
Okay,
Leora,
listen
it's
to
Leora,
Leora.
it's Leora's turn,
Yeah, it
it's Leora's
doesn't,
turn,
but
it's Leora's
it's
turn.
agreements of friendship.
This directly addresses what you're saying. Despite the fact that it says always in clauses towards the end, the fact that it begins with if war should break out between France and Great Britain during the continuance of the present war between the United States and England, everything that follows that must be in that time period. So even if it says always, it's always within
No, that's-
Yeah.
the barrier of the continuance.
I see how
Yes.
you're getting that, but I think that's just the condition for the start of this agreement. Like if during the continuance
so
of
it's
the
unclear, but we
But if
just
it
disagree.
starts as that.
No,
It's
what-
two different ways
how,
to read
how
it.
I'm seeing it is that during the and how they've been seeing it because they have this whole agreement like over time, like they didn't know when to end the treaty. It was awkward in later wars, like whether the treaty still existed or not because of this clause, and this is how they wrote it to be understood. Because this is how they treated it historically in the time. They treated it to
What do you
mean
mean? This is the
that
first
during
time.
no, this treaty thing exists until 1800. They don't end it until 1800.
But right now it's 17.
But well, yeah, we don't know that
93.
yet.
We don't know what's
Okay,
gonna.
but
We're
I'm
setting the
just saying.
precedent.
I'm just saying this is what it means based on the evidence of history.
That's the
No,
fact that they
you
don't
can't
end
use
it
evidence
until
from what happened
1800.
after.
We
We're
can't,
discussing.
Okay, Aaron hasn't
Yes,
spoken
we
yet.
can because
Yeah.
that.
No, okay. Listen to
No,
Aaron. Listen to
I'm
Aaron.
not saying
Order
that's
in the
how we
cabinet.
should make our decision. I'm saying that's how we should understand what they meant by this because that's how they act regarding it.
But we're deciding.
Listen
what
to
it
Aaron.
means.
Stop
we
it.
have
Stop,
to take into
stop,
account what they meant
stop.
when we decide what
We
I think
Stop.
that
because they used it. Sorry,
No.
my bad.
I think that this treaty was made between a government in France that no longer
Longer exists,
exists.
yeah.
That
So
is a
why
good
would
point.
they uphold something like they made it with the king and then they killed
King
the king
is
and they
dead.
established
I so
a new
disagree.
government?
I think
So-
shouldn't we close
Why don't
on
we
Peter's
just really
point first, because that's a
But-
big topic.
I'm just saying
But
that
that,
this
like,
doesn't matter
even
because the
if
treaty
this,
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
No,
even
it
this
does,
treaty
though.
does exist, and that
But the treaty
cancels
wasn't
it.
about
It
the
doesn't-
king.
not about the
The treaty
king.
was like, we're gonna
Their
help the
country.
king. It was about the country.
No, it is about the king because the king made the decision.
Doesn't matter,
The
what
king
if-
is the absolute monarch? He makes all decisions. Made that's one
Because
decision
it's
on
not
behalf
like
of
a president
everyone.
that
Now
makes a
he's
decision
gone.
with all the
people,
country.
the people
It's what the king
decided to kill
wants.
him, therefore erasing everything that he had done
Matter.
for them.
That's not.
Still-
I don't
it's
think
still-
that's
it's
what
still
it means.
legally
That's what
binding.
I don't think it is.
Why?
But like,
Because if Obama makes something and he gets sacked,
Prime Minister, it doesn't mean that that's a
Yeah, but monarchs
It's
are
a
still
liar.
it applies
It's not a
the same
king.
way. It doesn't it applies the same way.
No, but they
That's
they
terrible.
destroyed the whole monarchy
Example.
system.
I said if someone kills Rabbi Baker, that doesn't mean that all the laws of our school don't apply anymore.
We don't have
It does mean that if we change
You
the
think so?
school. If we change the school, then the
But
law
it's
then
still
it's
the
different.
student
But
body.
they
If
already
they- if
changed
they
it.
still want this
Said
treaty,
you come to public school, all the laws are gonna change.
the French people still want
That
this
is
treaty.
an elected position that you can pay
Alright,
for.
despite that, yes, and
But like the treaty was with the kings,
I
which is
know.
that. But also Hamilton, who's like the big like, I am not in support of this, said to the Marquis de Lafayette before he left, like, hey,
True.
if you
I
get
agree
Here's
with
what he
that.
said.
because
We'll be
who
with
cares
you
what
when you
promises
do
we make?
Wait, hold on. We still haven't. Can we just take a really quick vote, by the way, of how many people just
Yes.
think that that?
Can we please just
Wait, can I
establish
say
that and
something?
then
yeah,
we
okay,
can
we're just
use
establishing.
that?
Okay, here's the question. Under the treaty, are we legally obligated to step in?
Okay,
Okay,
let's
we're
take a
taking a vote. Yes. How many people think yes? Okay, so we are not. Okay, I'm just gonna write on the board that the majority thinks that we are not obligated. We can move forward. I think productively with that. Okay. Yes.
Wait, Annie wasn't finished. Annie
Okay,
wasn't
sorry.
finished.
I'm so sorry.
But also another thing that I just remembered now isn't like there's also the argument that like it's all the same revolution because any revolution to try to like
That's Jefferson's.
yeah. So like there's like that argument where it's like this is all the same revolution because we're all fighting towards like a common goal. And it's not like about the like war being like just about America, but it's also about everyone who's trying to like free themselves from like a monarchy. It's like that's like I'm not completely sure if that's like what I like 100% agree with, but I think it's worth mentioning.
Jada. Okay, I'm just gonna like lay out a bunch of pros and cons because I feel like this could maybe be helpful in getting somewhere. Okay, so yes, we made this treaty with Monarch, and the Monarch's now dead. That's a con, I guess,
What about
of
love?
supporting. So I'm just gonna weigh out the two sides, and then I'll say what I think. Monarch's dead, even though the treaty we made with them. However, these people who are fighting, who killed the monarch and now are fighting against the British, are fighting for the same ideals that we fought for in our own revolution.
But that
On the
is
other
not-
side, these people have no leadership. They're practically anarchists, and they're just like they're bloodthirsty. They're murdering everyone, guillotining everybody. It's chaos. So here's what I think. I think that we owe it to France, who played an integral part in our seceding from Great Britain, to help them with their own revolution and their own causes of democracy and republicanism. And I think that even though these people are quite bloodthirsty and have killed their monarch who made the treaty with us, it's our duty, not as our service to the dead monarch, but as our service to that country, to that region, to those people who live in that area who are currently fighting against the same powers that we fought against, to help them in their cause and lead them in the same ways that we've gone in, so that maybe we can help them establish a more civilized, less bloodthirsty, more organized system of government in the same ways that we have. I think it's our responsibility to help these people because they helped us, not because we're legally bound to by some treaty that a dead monarch signed, but just because it's our responsibility and it's the moral thing to do.
Somebody who can respectfully disagree with that.
Or
Not
Can we agree?
Before we agree, but add.
Yeah, can we agree?
I feel like this.
I think Shayna should call us. over.
Can we agree first and add to it and then get into the whole disagreement part?
Can we just do like whoever talks and call the next
What?
person to speak?
Wait,
Yeah.
can I make a point and then the adders can repeat my
Ask
point?
Shayna.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so
Fine, whatever, Jared.
He's the only one who disagrees. So he has to go.
okay, so I think since there's no legal obligation, but there is a moral obligation, I agree with that. And considering the fact, I don't know where it is, but it said that the French people paid like $13 million or something.
Yeah.
Billion?
Billion.
Billion?
I think it's the equivalent to
And
13 billion.
Oh, it's the equivalent
Yeah.
of 13 billion
Billion
current U.S.
Last
dollars.
Yeah.
year we
So
spent
a lot
like
of
4 months learning about how much debt they were in and how that affected their next like.
country was so screwed
Yeah,
up.
that's a
because
lot of
this
money.
part.
Imagine,
They like
if
gave
we-
themselves away to America.
yeah,
Oh, right.
if we go in and help the French,
Ross.
our people are also gonna lose a ton of money.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah,
No.
I
Just
can.
the last one.
Listen to Jared.
Oh, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, so I think the reason why that was included was to say our people are also gonna pay a ton of money.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
if everyone, I'm sure not everyone was on board with Hamilton's plan, but if that's the route that we're gonna take for, you know, the economic future of our country, then we can't let our people pay $13 billion to help. It's gonna screw everything up, so, yeah. Whoever wants to go.
No, do not say
Yes.
that.
Whoever feels
They
No,
all do.
come
That's
on.
why they're raising their hand.
So like another reason I feel like the 13 billion could have been included is to show like how the extent to which the French did help us and like are the reason that we won the war, and like that's like going towards like more like the moral stance, and also like but there's like a lot of things like I'm like kind of like remembering and like adding on to myself, but like about like the Jefferson thing, like that's also like maybe that makes it like it's not completely legally obligated, but it's like should be more legally like considered that we should follow Jefferson's standpoint because he is like I forget what.
No, I'm laughing at myself because I just made a noise involuntarily. Keep going.
I forget what his title is, but wherever he is like one that's like supposed to be like.
Oh, Secretary of
Secretary of
State
Sure,
instead of Secretary of Treasury is Hamilton.
Right,
then
which-
yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that's
so-
a good point.
Hamilton like isn't really the one responsible for making this decision, and it should be kind of more like not entirely in Jefferson's like we shouldn't like without other thought follow what he has to say, but like we should like consider it more heavily because if he is like how like his relevance and position like Secretary of State.
Okay, so I think what we have to decide is whether it's more important to us to continue as like what Jared was saying about the money, like whether it's more important for us to like set a precedent of us being a moral like new country, or whether or not we like are more interested in like making like ensuring that our country is going to be able to survive, because it's not like a what's it called when something is like
That's a good point.
no it's not like certain
Uncertain?
no
Stable.
It's not
Unsure?
guaranteed.
Uncertain.
I don't know, whatever. It's not like there's no like it's not certain that we're gonna be able to survive if we go and try to help the French. So we have to decide if it's more important for us to be able to continue and be able to like ensure that we're gonna like be able to have this country, or if it's more important for us to sacrifice everything that we fought for to ensure that we're gonna be able to help the French.
Wait, can I ask a question? Does anyone know if when France helped us, if France was in the same situation that we were in? Like, was France also really having?
France was a pretty well-established monarchy.
Yeah.
So then it's.
Lulu.
So now we're like,
Yeah, but
we're
then-
basically deciding like who's more important to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like friends.
But I think it
It's
goes
not
beyond
just-
that though.
It's not our friends, it's our moral reputation and
Right, and also
Basically,
our moral
it's
standing going forward. We
not
looked at this
only-
country for
not
tons of
only-
many years.
the moral obligation, there's two parts of it. There's A, we owe them because they helped us. We probably would not have even been like as independent as we are without them. Like financially and just having them bring people over, basically all that. But second of all, we agree with their cause entirely. Like, there's no disputing the fact that we disagree with what they're fighting for, even if they may be fighting for it a little too aggressively or violently for what we feel is right. But the point is, this is what Shana was saying, we believe in what they believe in. So, I just realized that I talked and was not.
But do we believe in it enough to sacrifice our own?
But the point is, it's not us versus them. It's us versus. It's us financially being okay as a nation versus us maybe not being so financially stable, but being a great nation. Alana's been raising her hand for a long time.
Thank you. Okay, so I admit that yes, we are deeply in debt, and I admit that France wasn't when they helped us. But the thing is, first of all, they became indebted by helping us. They didn't have to help us at all, and they did instead, and they brought a war onto themselves for it, and literally brought about basically completely messing up their country for us. And I think honestly that we should help them, because right now we're at a choice. We have a choice between deciding for fiscal reasons to for a country or deciding for moral reasons. And I think that right now we're gonna construct how our country sees, like how our country thinks. And I personally don't want a country to think only in hard facts and am I gonna get money from this? Is it going to help me? I want our country to be a place that helps everyone and is inspired by these ideas of revolution like Jefferson was saying. So I think we should help them for moral reasons.
Can I ask a clarifying question? If there's like no government in France right now because he's dead and they're like,
We didn't have a government. We
Yeah,
had
no,
ours.
no, who is in debt?
Well, now they're
country.
the
Like,
country.
But
But if
what
they
does
don't
that
have a
mean?
government
Like people
anymore,
in
yeah.
general.
They were also in debt before this happened.
They have like a Congress that
They have like a-
that
yeah.
assumes everything.
Like a temporary sort of kind of government that's super
Yeah.
in debt, and like all the people are in debt. So.
Kira.
I'm just thinking about like our own fiscal situation. Like if George Washington can afford to send 1,000 or whatever, Matt wrote about how many troops did he send?
13,000.
13,000 troops
I think
Just
it's 1,000.
to
I don't know.
fight with some little farmers in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, does
It's a lot of troops.
The point is, if he can afford to send 13,000 troops just out of the blue to stop some people from rioting in Virginia, why can't we afford to send one section of our navy to France? Like, would it really cost us that much?
I mean, the thing is though, maybe we can't afford, but what's to say that if we help them, we're not gonna end up in the same situation as France, and then neither of us are gonna be able to help each other, because then we're both gonna be in this terrible situation where we're both, I mean, I guess being in debt is what we
The
want,
reason
but like,
France was in their bad situation was because they also managed it really badly. If we managed it a little smarter than that.
15,000.
Don't we want to be in
80,000.
debt?
Yeah, isn't the whole
That's
point of
it.
Hamilton
No,
that we
but we
want to
want
be
to
in
know
debt?
that, and if there's, who's gonna support us then once we're in debt,
right,
that's
that's
the
the
problem.
problem, we need.
Once
we
France
need
is gone and we're
There's
in
other
a war.
foreign powers
Exactly, which is why they should help them so that France can get strong enough to
Who's
support
gonna invest in
us.
us if we're not moral and don't go help anyone?
And if we form an alliance with France,
Not
that's
everyone
gonna
cares
be really
about
strong.
Kira calls.
Other countries do it, we're supposed to pay them back.
Shayna.
I think this is a really important question about fiscal versus moral. And I think that one point that we should make is that we just came out of an economic depression. It's not like our country is incapable of surviving economic depression. Even if we go into a lot of debt, I mean, this is on Hamilton. Hamilton's so confident in his bank plan, let's put it to the test.
Yeah, sure. And we can beat the British too. Like, yeah, been there, done that.
Yeah, we can handle the British too. We're morally strong enough to go and fight this war. And I think that if Hamilton is so confident in his bank plan, we should be fiscally confident enough to fight this war.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annie?
It's like also, I think, because like in doing this, like we're following Hamilton's kind of like ideas about like how like economics work, in the sense that like we're like, as some people were saying, like if we morally like do like out of a moral standpoint do like support them, then like other countries will also see that and be like, okay, we want a relationship with this country and they'll support us or be more inclined to support us. But also like in the same, like it's like also kind of the same sense of like his economic plan to like pay back the rich people with the bonds, because like if we didn't pay them back, then they wouldn't trust us and there wouldn't be any money going into our system anymore. And then the like whole system would collapse. So like in the same sense, if we don't like pay back France in a sense, or not like if we don't pay back France like at least a little bit, then they won't be inclined, or like no one else will be inclined to put more money into our system and to like back us up in the future if we need help.
I also think that, just to add on to the whole moral aspect, we share France's sentiments so much about freedom and independence. This is a quote from their, I don't know what it's from the Origins of the French-American Relationship document from the dossier. Men are born and remain free and equal in rights. That's a value that's shared so much by the United States and France. And I think that beyond that, I think that if we're gonna have a country, I think that we need to start now, so early in our years, and show the world what kind of country we're gonna be, and show our people what kind of country we're gonna be, and how we're gonna act moving forward. And I think that I agree with Jared when he said that it's gonna be huge, it's gonna be very taxing on us economically, but I still think it's even worth having a country if we're not gonna be moral. Wait, I don't know that I call on you, you're the president.
I don't know, I felt like just, I don't wanna like, okay. I just wanna put something interesting out there, not to bring Judaism into this, but to bring Judaism into this. There's, what? Yeah, so there's an interesting Jewish piece of halakha, all of it's Jewish. It says that your uncertain death trumps somebody else's certain death, and that like if you are trying to decide whether or not you're gonna save someone or you're gonna go in and like help someone, even if something might happen to you that's bad, it's still like that's enough of a reason for you not to go in. And doing anything other than that is what they call foolishly righteous. So just something to think about. I mean, Hamilton's like just following halakha. I don't know. So anybody? Yeah.
Well,
Apologize.
mine's short. I'd like honestly rather be foolishly righteous and help people because there's still a chance of saving them maybe than like being cold or yeah. Did Aaron want to go?
Yeah. Something that Matt said that like it made just like something I wanna like maybe put out there is that like this is a country, not a person. So like if I feel like if it was like a person in a fight, like obviously like you could like say like it's fine, like if this is gonna hurt me, like my morals like standards are more important to me, so I have to like go help my friend who's like in a fight with my other friend or something, because like I'm a moral person, like I can take a hit. But like a country is like not one person, it's like a whole nation of people who are all depending on the government kind of to like provide for them. And I'm not saying that like it's that different, but I do think that like countries, like you have to make hard decisions, and even if it goes against your moral standards, like you can't just be like, we have to because it's moral, but like even if like it's gonna like screw up our own
Class is over, I think, in 5 minutes, so we.
Okay, Mr. Patton asked if we could do a vote, so can Aaron just finish what he was saying?
No,
and then,
no.
But aren't you
Wait, can I
just
add one more moral thing?
You have to convince me, but I think we should take a vote.
Can I add one last thing?
Yes.
Alright, so about the whole like guillotining thing. What- yeah, sorry.
You say guillotine, Jared.
Okay, we're short on time.
I will. So I think that goes against exactly what we believe. For at least Washington and Abigail Adams, even though she's not really relevant here.
Who else just said she's always relevant?
I'm saying in this room, but about
Women don't
violence
matter.
of crowds, I think in a revolution, if you're going around like just murdering people, that we can't stand for that as the leaders of the country. Because like Matt brought up, if Washington, even though this wasn't your point, Washington sent out a ton of troops to stop a violent rebellion. So how can we send a message that we support? How can we send a message to our own people that we support violence like that in another country? That might tell them that we're being hypocrites. How can we stop their violent rebellions while we're supporting someone else's?
Okay, so during this time, we have established we are not legally obligated. Most of us have established we are not legally obligated to step in. It's up for debate whether or not we're morally obligated to step in, because on the one hand we're weak, and on the other hand they were really nice to us. So okay, so how many people think that we should not step in? Raise your hand if you think that we should not step in. Okay, how many people think that? Okay.
I really don't know.
How
They're a
many
country, not a
people
person.
abstain?
You said it yourself.
Yeah.
What?
How many people think that we should?
Am I voting?
Yes, if you vote, then we win.
I think abstain.
Okay, thank you very much, this is very interesting, goodbye.
Can I have my extra markers?
It's so hard. Wait, we have to give him a message now.
So
Added.
that was really I feel like lots of people.
Guys, what if it didn't record?
Wait, was that?
That was so scary.
Was that? Dana, we just did.
So I think that
Alright, I'm kidding.
I think that lots of people don't understand my thoughts about the Treaty of Alliance, and I think that really makes me feel like I'm.
You turn it off when you're done talking to Mr. Cadden.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Cadden. I hope you had a good time.
Put it in his office.
Where is it? I don't have time. How do you turn it off?
It's like having number 2.
What? I was with you.